Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's Rob back again. How are ya? And today we're doing something different. I'm in my house, if you like. I've got a lav mic on. Check me out. I've got the dead cat on the camera and we're gonna do a tutorial on my iMac for Davinci Resolve. So we're gonna fire that puppy up and we're gonna do something today on tracking. And I've been looking for this video for ages. It took me ages to find a kind of tip that helped me to do what I wanted to do for this video. So I'm going to show you how I did it and what I did for tracking, and when you need to track some difficult things, some tips to get over that. So let's fire it up and let's go. Okay, so first of all, coffee, of course. Oh yeah. And you may have noticed my hair. Yes, my son came round the other day. He went on Facebook Live and said that I wouldn't do it. So I had to do it because it was on Facebook Live. That's how it works, right? So anyway, let's go on to this. So I'm just opening up some clips on Davinci. I've taken the clips from the video already. So these two clips here we're going to look at. One is going to be quite a simple clip to track, and this one's going to be a bit more difficult. So I've done this in the edit tab, and we're going to go straight into the color tab, and already we're on the clip. So let's just go onto the clip. And this isn't really a whole Davinci Resolve tutorial, so if you're not sure or you're a bit daunted by what you're seeing, just go and look at some tutorials. It's an awesome program and it's completely free. This is the free version. It's ridiculous. So let's have a look what I want to track. So in this clip here, I actually want to track my number plate because I want to blur it out. It's not an expensive car, of course. This is the baby, this is my Harley that I've just bought. So I keep telling everyone that I've got a Harley. Yeah, I know. So we're gonna blur out this number plate. So the first thing we wanna do is create a serial node, and I'm just gonna track through to a point where the number plate is in view, and basically anywhere in this simple clip will do for this because I've chosen this on purpose, just so it's easy to see. So we're going to click on the third icon along, which is like the power window, and then using this pen tool I'm just going to make a rough selection around the number plate, very rough, and that's just giving you the selection that is telling the tracker that you want to track what's within this area. Okay, so we're going to try and track it automatically to begin with. So this window here now represents where on the timeline I'm looking at. So with reference to the timeline, and this is the tracking window, this is the position of where the track is going to be. So I'm just going to position it where I've made the selection. Okay, and you can alter the selection and make sure all these are checked on to begin with. We'll see if any of these cause an issue in a minute. I'm anticipating that they will. So we'll deal with that in a minute. And then all I'm going to do is click on track backwards, which is a reverse play button, and we'll see what happens. So that wasn't too bad. So if we go forward, you'll see that it's kept the number plate in the frame. And then I'm just going to track forwards. So it's gone off a little bit there, but that's still okay. So let's have a look. So I'm just going to use my left and right arrow keys now. So that's looking good, looking fine. Doesn't matter if it goes off screen. So just scroll towards the end. And that's okay. So that is a simple clip. And so the effect will be this. I'm just gonna go up to the right hand side and drop a box blur straight onto the node, and then just change the settings a little bit, just so it's a bit more professional. And then now if we scrub through, it's gonna track the number plate and keep it blurred despite where the camera position is moving to. So it went a little bit off there, but that's fine because just an example of what I want to show you. And this is a very simple track, and it went out there, but that's fine for this example, and I'll show you why in a minute. So that's one clip. So the second clip is going to be very much more complicated. So I'm going to scrub through just to show you to begin with. So the car comes into shot from the left hand side, you'll see in a second. So there's a number plate. So it's moving with the camera. Then I go in the way of the number plate. Then I reveal the number plate, then I hide it again. And then I kind of reveal it a little bit there. And then it reveals there towards the end. So let's see what we can do with this. So we want the same result. We want to keep the number plate blurred out. So again, I'm gonna skip along till I see, right, so that's a good image of the number plate there. So I'm gonna create a serial node and go back to the power window, and I'm gonna create an image, a selection. This one I'm gonna make a little bit better, just so you can see how good this is. Right, so I've created my selection. So again, we're going to see what it's going to do in auto. So go along to the tracker, which is the fourth icon along. And because I've scrubbed through a little bit, I'm going to track backwards. So let's track backwards. And let's just scrub through, see how that's gone. So my arm got in the way, but that's fine just because that's the beginning of the clip, so we can shorten the clip if we need to. So then it comes to this bit, and let's track forwards. And so it went off there, so it's already gone off track. No pun intended. So let's see what we can do. The first thing I'm going to do is delete this information down here because it's going to use that for tracking. So I'm just going to select it. Just click and drag a selection. And then I'm just going to go up to these three buttons and click on clear selected track data. Okay, and now this is where we have to track a bit manually. Okay, so we're going to click on frame. It will be on clip now. We're going to click on frame, and then we're going to use our right and left arrow keys and then adjust the position of the selection as we go. So I'm going to click on the right arrow key now, go skip a frame. That's still okay there. Okay, so I'm going to reposition it. Now when I reposition it, it will create its own keyframe down here to tell the tracker what I want it to do. And so you get the idea. We're going to go along like this. Oops, you can zoom in and out, of course. I'll just reposition that. And so you get the idea. I'm just going to do this really quickly. And you can take more time. And it's going off screen now, but that's not a problem, because we can move the tracker completely off the screen and then skip through just to make things a bit easier. So it's out of shot now, so I'm going to move the tracker completely off the screen, and I'm just going to hold down the right arrow key, and we're going to skip along to where it comes back into shot. So it's coming into shot now, so I'm just going to move that back there, and we can adjust it again. Just move it around a little bit. So something I wanted to show you towards the end of the clip. This is why I'm taking so long to do it. I can kind of fast forward to the end really, but I wanted to show you every step. So just going through, clicking on the right arrow key every time, and obviously the effect isn't in place yet, so the blur will come later. So every time I'm moving it, it's making its own key frames down in the tracking window. By the way, I'm no expert on Davinci. I love Davinci, I'm no expert, so if you have got any questions and comments, by all means, I probably won't be able to answer them. So going through, and I will zoom in a bit now. I'm going to zoom in. The selection is quite big, but that's okay for this. And you'll see why in a second. So now I'm going to move it along. I'm going to change the shape of what will be the blur. And you'll see why in a bit. So just doing this very rough, and now obviously it's out of position, but the track is still there. So that is fine, and you'll see why. I'm clicking on the right arrow key just to go through. You'll see why and how I can get around this in a minute. So let's say you're tracking something else, and now it's on my face, not a problem, you'll see in a bit. So I'm going to track the number plate there. So right arrow key, again, right arrow key. And I could bring that back, but again, just doing it for speed. And I kind of block it again now, I think. Okay, so I'm going to put that on my face, and again we'll see how we can get around this issue in a minute. So let's just go back here because it's coming into view again. And then my face blocks it, fine. Coming into view again. Let me just change it a little bit around like that. Resize it. So we're kind of just step by step, you can trace it and literally change what the tracker's looking at manually. And because it's adding keyframes, it's going to save all these changes, which for a free program I think is ridiculous. So let's just position that again. That's too much. So nearly at the end of the clip. You get the idea. I don't really have to go this far with it, but I just wanted to show you the whole clip, because why not, right? Bit of a change from all this corona flipping scaremongering and stuff on social media. Jesus. Scary times, right? Okay, so it's going off screen now. I'm just guessing where that is. And that is the end of the clip. Alright, so if we scrub back with the left arrow key, we can see now that if I hold it, it stays on my face there. We're going to fix that in a minute, so don't worry about that. Back in view there. So what I'll do is I'll apply the effect now. So I'm just going to click on box blur, drag and drop that straight onto the node, and then I'm just going to change the settings again just a little bit. So now let's scrub through left side. So I'm going to go towards the beginning of the clip. So the tracker's off screen there. So it's going to come into view any second. Still should be blurred. Right, we're going to start from the beginning. Okay, so the clip starts there. The number plate is blurred. Let's just zoom out again so we can see. Okay, so now we're going to start from the beginning. Number plate is blurred. Tracker goes off screen. So that's fine. I walk around my Harley. Did I tell you I have a Harley? Yeah. Back onto the number plate there, which comes in view. I get in the way, but the blur is still affected there. It's still on my face. Then tracker covers the number plate again. And again, so that is not too bad. So what was that, a few minutes? Right, so let's have a look what we can do about where I get in the way. So let's scrub through to the clip where I get in the way. So tracker is there. Right, so here you can see that the effect is here. So let's scrub through on the left. So that's blurring out the number plate, and from here I want the effect to be gone. I don't want it on the screen, okay? So the way to get around that is, we have two nodes at the top. So this is node 2, and at the bottom it says 01 there and 02. So we want to come down here to correct to 2, because that's the node we're on. And the first thing I want to do is click on this keyframe to activate the keyframe. And this is like the auto keyframing. So when I make a change now, it's going to automatically select the right thing I'm moving, so I don't have to work out what it is. I can just change it, which is amazing. So we're going to go into this window here, and you can see the effect lit up on this window here. So what I want to do is, on the key output, on the gain, I want to bring that gain right down to make the effect disappear. And when I do that, it's created its own keyframe over here. So now the effect has gone on the screen. So now I'm gonna move along with the right arrow key. And it will come into shot again very soon. So there, I want the effect to be on again, if you like. So I'm gonna bring the gain back up to what it was on before, which is 1. And as you can see, it's created another keyframe. So then I'm going to scrub along to the right again. and it goes out of shot there, so I want it gone again. So I'm going to bring it back down to 0, scrub through, and here it comes again. So from about there I want it to be on 1 again. So I bring that up to 1. You can just type it in if you want. I'm just using the mouse to, and it's gone again there. So let's just turn it off there. So bring it back down again to 0, scrub through, and bring it up again to 1. There. And scrubbing through with the right arrow key. And that is the end of the shot. Right, so let's have a look what we got. So we're going to come back here. And I'm going to turn this off. And then I'm going to bring the gain back up, because we want the gain on, obviously, because we want that to be blurred. So make sure you do that if you're following along. So let's have a look what we've got. Let's just see what we've got here. So the problem with what we've got is that the effect is being, see on the on the keyframes. Let's just turn it off a minute. So on the keyframes, we've got these like areas where it's faded out. So the effect is fully on here, and then it fades out back. So it's not kind of on or off. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these, and we're going to change them. So I'm going to right click on them and change them to static keyframes. So the number plate there is going out of blur, and on the screen here you can see down on the power window, this is where the number plate is blurred, and if I scrub through to the right, the blur gets switched off there, which is what we want because it's over my face. I'm going to hold the right arrow key down, coming up to where it comes into view, and it should come back on. So there it is on there, which is just wicked. Goes off again there because my face is blocking it again. Comes into view there. Goes out off there where I turn it off, and then into view again there with the effect on, so it's blurred, so you can't see the effect. So let's just play that back how it should be, normal speed, and I just check that the sound is off, which it will be. So the blur's on the number plate. I'm talking away, obviously you can't hear that. Blurred number plate again. Blur goes off in front of my face. And it's always blurred when the number plate is in view. So that is it. That is how you do it. Some tracking advice there, some little tricks and tips. Remember the keyframes, dynamic and static. And even when you've done the keyframes, you can slide them along as well and move them to exactly where you want. That is how good DaVinci Resolve is. It's free. Go and get it. I'm Rob. Thanks for watching. Make sure you sub and like and all that stuff. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the next video.